Welcome to Blue Chair Conversations, real, unscripted, authentic life. I'm your host, Erin Baer, and around here, we believe conversation, connection, and community can change everything. I'm starting this first episode with a story that's close to my heart and a reminder that finally pushed me to launch this podcast. Oh man, after my mom passed away, my sister and I were talking about what photos we had or didn't have. And we kept asking each other, do you have these photos? Or do you have photos of me and mom? And we realized just how many photos we didn't have. And you see, my mom was a photographer, so she was always behind the camera. Very rarely was she ever in front of the camera. And me, I love being in front of the camera. I still do. My dad's a photographer. My mom was a photographer. And well, I love taking photos too. And so anytime I could capture a moment, I would. And people are like, you're always taking selfies or you're always taking photos. And it's true. I am. My mom absolutely hated to get her photo taken. Yet she was one of the most beautiful women I ever knew, if not one of the most. And my sister didn't like getting her photo taken. And am still always insistent on getting a photo. So when my sister and I would get a photo taken together, I would have to get approval from her on whether or not I could post it. And if she said no, I didn't post it. That was just the deal. For me, I would post any photo. I didn't need to be perfect. Now, I say that with a little caveat. Sometimes I had to look perfect in the photo. After all, I was a competitive bodybuilder back in 2008 through 2016. And I had to get the right angle, the right shot. I had to make sure everything was perfect because if anybody saw a flaw, my God, they were going to point it out. But over time, I started on a different path in my life where I didn't want my photo taken because I was self-conscious, because I wasn't as fit as I used to be, or I was struggling with my weight, or I didn't have the perfect outfit on, or maybe I had like a flaw in my face. How silly. How silly. And anytime I went and visited my mom and my sister in Kansas City, I would snap a photo. I literally would grab my phone and get the right angle and smile. And I loved every photo. But there were those photos that just didn't get the approval. So I didn't post them, I didn't share them, and sometimes I was forced to delete them. My mom passed away this last month in March. On a Friday, after a workout, I received a phone call from my beautiful twin sister saying, hey, mom's in the hospital. I said, what do you mean she's in the hospital? She's in the hospital and they're not sure what's going on. I said, okay, I'm on my way out. With what she told me, I knew I had to go out to Kansas City because if I didn't, I was going to regret it. Little did I know it was going to be the last time I saw my mom alive. I went out there and on a Friday, every roadblock imaginable came. I ended up having to sleep in my car off of I-70 in Burlington, Colorado because of a 70 car pileup on I-70 where 10 people died. I slept in my car for a few hours and I woke up and I got back on the road and the highway was still shut down. I managed to finally make it to Kansas City. I got to the hospital and I saw my mom. When she realized I was in the room, she looked up at me and said, oh, Erin, with the magical smile that she always has. Even though she wasn't doing well, she was so happy and thrilled to see me, her daughter. And I sat on the edge of her bed and I said, hey, Mom. And we talked about so many beautiful things. I held her hand, I gave her a kiss on the cheek, I told her how much I loved her, and asked her how she was doing. Now, this podcast is about being real and authentic, so if tears flow, it's okay. Now, do I have tissue? No, but that's okay. And we had some really authentic, beautiful, loving, raw conversations. And I remember I pulled out my phone. I said, Mom, we're going to take a photo. And she's like, oh, I really don't want to, but I will cooperate for you. And we took a photo. Little did I know that that was going to be one of the last photos we ever took. I had no makeup on. My hair was clean because I had just taken a shower once I got to the hotel, but Mom was in a hospital gown and she was in the bed. And she knew how much photos meant to me. So she said it was okay. After my mom passed a few days later, and Bryce and I were having that conversation about what photos we did have or didn't have, I realized all those silly moments of never taking the photo or deleting the photo because they weren't perfect was meaningless. We don't know how much time we have on this planet. I'm 42. My mom was only 67 years young. We had no idea that she was going to die at a young age. I miss her every single day. I write letters to her. I talk to her. I think of all the good, happy moments that we have. And every time I made her take a silly selfie. And when Bryce and I were talking about all the different photos that we had or didn't have, I told her something that was weighing on my heart because it was a thought that I was having over and over again since we lost our mom. And I told my beautiful sister, I said, hey, take the photo. Stop worrying about it being perfect. Take the photo. So we have those photos in future moments where we can reflect and see them. Eat the chocolate. Go on the trip. Say yes. Say no. Do the thing. Not every moment is going to be perfect. I have been trying to launch this podcast for years. I've written several books. I have spoken on stages. I have coached people. I've done so many great, wonderful, impactful things. But the one impactful thing that I have wanted to do is to start this podcast, Blue Chair Conversations, where we're authentic, we're real, we're raw, and we speak our truth. And at first I thought it had to be a podcast where I interviewed people. And I was wondering who would want to be on that show. Am I good enough? Am I worthy enough? But then once my mom died, once she passed, I realized it didn't have to be perfect. It didn't matter. I needed to sit in the blue chair and I needed to start because the blue chair is all about being raw and authentic and real in the moments that are great and in the moments that maybe aren't so great. The happy ones, the sad ones, the painful ones, the challenging ones, the strong ones, the whatever ones it may be. I'm realizing that we don't have to wait for life to be perfect before we live. And that's what I've always done. I usually don't do things until I'm fully committed, fully 100% ready. But losing my mom changed everything for me. It has made me realize I need more laughter in my life. I need more joy. I need more adventure and more love. And I need to quit worrying about what everybody else is going to think in that snapshot moment. Take the photo, but don't stop there. Life isn't perfect. Do I know? It is full of ups and downs and turnarounds. I have been through it. But starting this podcast, because I had to. I had to start this podcast so I can pour into others with the gifts that I have. I kept getting in my own way. And we do that, right? We always do that. We get in our own way. Do we mean to? Probably not. But society has taught us that we need to get in our own way. That we better not show up if we're not perfect. Because if we do show up imperfectly, we're going to be criticized. I'm sure I'll get people saying stuff about this. I don't care anymore. I have lived my life so many times for so many years wondering, what are they going to say? What are they going to think? I was bullied as a kid. But you know what? It taught me to be strong. It taught me to be resilient. My dad was a photographer. I was his little model. I was always in front of the camera. I love being in front of the camera. My mom was always behind the camera, just like my dad, always taking photos of us. I'm on a hunt to find those photos. So take the photo. Go beyond the photo. Capture the moments. Live the moments. Eat the chocolate. Say yes. Go on a trip. Say no. Remember, do the thing. Don't wait for life to be perfect before you live it. Losing my mom made me realize we don't have time to wait for perfect. Showing up today is choosing me. It's also me choosing to live fully, messily, authentically, and inviting you to do the same. I might stumble on my words. I may mess up my sentences just like I did. And you might not like what I have to say, but there's going to be somebody out there that does. There's going to be somebody out there that this message resonates with. I'm tired of not creating the life of my dreams. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the photo. I'm going beyond that. What about you? What about you? Are you taking the photo, capturing the moments, and going beyond that? Or are you waiting for perfect? If you need permission to go beyond perfect and live imperfectly, fully, authentically, and raw, here it is. Here's your sign. Show up for you. Because don't show up if you're not going to show up. It is time to take the chance. Take the leap. Don't wait. I'm only 42. I may have 10, 15, 30, 100. No, not 100. But I might only have 20 years left. My dash might not be as long as I think it is. The dash between my birth and my death. Anything can happen. But I'm going to fill those moments. I'm going to say yes to the things that matter and no to the things that don't. I'm going to step out of my comfort zone. I'm going to do the things, even if I'm afraid. I miss my mom every day. I wish we had more moments to take the photos and eat the cake and hear her silly stories and watch her light up magically when she smiles. I'll never have those moments again, but I can create those moments for myself and for those that want to be a part of my life. Take the photo, capture those moments, and go beyond that. Thanks for being here with me today. Remember, you are more. Take the photo, live in the moment, do the thing, because life, real, beautiful, messy life, is happening right now. And you deserve to live your life the way you were intended to. I'm Erin Baer, your host. Thank you again for being here. I hope you got a little piece of something out of this episode. And I'll see you next time on Blue Chair Conversations.